Southern California is an amazing place to live. True, we do have wildfires, earthquakes, and the occasional mudslide. On the other hand, we don't have this.
We won't give him money to put out all his fires.
In defense of my home state, we are the fourth largest economy in the world, and the First Lady can say what she wants, but we produce more tax revenue than Mississippi, Alabama, Arkansas, Wyoming, and the two Dakotas combined. Oh, and Trump, who pays no taxes.
California has the highest inflation, the highest taxes, the highest gas prices, the most illegal aliens, the most regulations, the most expensive utilities, and it ranks as the third worst state to start a business. It also has the most people leaving it.
But Fat Donnie's attack on Gavin Newsom, it's kind of predictable. I mean, he knows Melania would jump Gavin's bones if he winked at her. But Trump's home state of Florida is really the issue. They'll be underwater for the same reason we have wildfires.
And by the way, it's supposed to be 70 degrees today. It's freezing here. Speaking of global warming, we need some global warming.
This earth warming and carbon is actually healthy for us. We've already warmed 1 degree Celsius, and do you know what's happened since then? Here, let me tell you. We have had more food grown since then, which feeds people.
See, that's what we have to deal with. Trump can barely wipe his ass, much less understand the science behind climate change, so he goes on these dotarded binges where he sounds like a donkey having a stroke. But after 8 years, even the most conservative broadcasters are tired of accommodating his stupid, and they're pushing back. So, of course, Trump is blaming the latest LA wildfires on Gavin Newsom. And like everything Trump says, it's insane.
Donald Trump is now weighing in on the horrific fires in Los Angeles County, and he's laying the blame on California's Democratic governor. He said on Truth Social, quote, Governor Gavin Newsom refused to sign the water restoration declaration put before him that would have allowed millions of gallons of water from excess rain and snow melt from the north to flow daily into many parts of California, including the areas that are currently burning in virtually apocalyptic way, and saying, quote, he is the blame for this. I want to bring in an exceptional group of reporters here. Tamara Keith of NPR, Leanne Caldwell of The Washington Post, and Nia Malika Henderson of Bloomberg, and of course, CNN. What a day. I want to start with you, Tamara, because you cover the White House, the outgoing and the incoming, obviously. And there's no surprise here that Donald Trump's response to these fires, which are still very out of control, is to blame the Democratic governor.
I think that the larger issue here is that the future president is seemingly trying to start a feud with the governor of a state in the middle of a crisis, a crisis that is being driven by Santa Ana winds, and
the fact that it hasn't rained.
And it hasn't rained. It's been very dry in California. This is a dynamic that has existed in this state forever, and it's why it is a beautiful state, and it is also a state of tragedy.
What's happened here in California is tragic, and it's not over. But what happened here this week is beyond the First Lady's pay grade. There are a myriad of factors for the fires, from the Santa Ana winds to cyclical droughts to climate change to unwise and aggressive developments into areas that traditionally burn. But the politics of jumping on the back of a tragedy to seem tall is what Fat Donnie and his acolytes do best. On a day where Ron DeSantis actually reached out to Newsom and offered help, Tiny Fingers proves that once again he is a sociopathic little boy.
Gavin Newsom is going to sign those papers, and if he doesn't sign those papers, we won't give him money to put out all his fires. And if we don't give him the money to put out his fires, he's got problems. He's a lousy governor.
Later in the day, California professional firefighters put out this statement saying, "It is shocking that we have a presidential candidate who is threatening our public safety and doesn't even care what the consequences are to firefighters and the public."
And joining him are the Trumpy sock puppets that squeeze their way through the ranks of Fox News to see themselves on TV. Except this time. This reporter, standing in the embers and destruction of this fire, well, he couldn't take any more MAGA bullshit.
Trump, back in 2020, was very critical of California for not enforcing rules to clear underbrush and make sure that the forest's floors were clean to stop these fires from spreading so rapidly. Why does this keep happening again and again?
Why? there's a multitude of reasons, right? But number one, this fire in Pali started in a residential area. That didn't have anything to do with the wildfires that we often do see that start in the national forest or in the what we call the urban-rural interface, where a lot of people have moved into, and frankly, they don't take proper care and don't put surrounding their homes and take care of it like that. But we now have, and this isn't going to really answer your question, but we have a year-round fire season. Right now, we've got marginal rain the last few months. I think you can blame California on something, but other things, I don't want to say it's Mother Nature. I haven't looked at the total statistics for the number of acres burned, but in a situation like this, as I said, when it starts in the middle of a community, you're going to have problems. The other problem that is related, of course, is insurance. Now, that is something you can look at the state and look at responsibility. A lot of people have been kicked off their policies. I got kicked off, had to go to a state plan, and some people in the Palisades and Malibu are going without fire insurance altogether. So gosh only knows, but these homes here along the water, these are $10 million homes and up. Some of the Palisades, we're looking $30 million up in the Riviera area, right? So this is going to be a very, very, very expensive fire. John?
Yeah, there's no question about that. But don't forget, when it comes to Malibu, you have a $10 million home, $9.5 million is the property.
We won't give him money to put out all his fires.
But none of this is new. Trump has been doing this for years, threatening resources to those he feels he can squeeze a dime out of their pain and suffering. Remember this?
Will you protect us? I said, you didn't pay? You're delinquent? He said, yes, let's say that happened. No, I would not protect you. In fact, I would encourage them to do whatever the hell they want. You got to pay.
Trump is threatening our allies, who have been an incredible source of vital information about terror cells and have kept us safe since 9/11. But after this,
to do whatever the hell they want.
Well, would you help us? Of course not. And that's the biggest danger. When there's a hurricane in Florida and homes are dragged into the Atlantic, does Tiny Finger speak to the danger of developing on sand below sea level? No. But when California burns, the First Lady opens her mouth and shits everywhere.
We won't give him money to put out all his fires.
Now, you know that is wrong on so many levels. By withholding funds, you endanger not only U.S. citizens, but police, firefighters, and other first responders. But like Trump cares, he's incapable of caring. He doesn't even know when he's lying.
Yeah, look, Trump can't tell the difference between what's true and what's false. It's not that he lies a lot, because to lie, you have to do it consciously. He just can't tell the difference.
Trump's attack on California is a tell. If Trump really thought he was capable of leading, he wouldn't stand up and shit out his mouth like this.
Changing the name of the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, which has a beautiful ring that covers a lot of territory.
But he's afraid of us and afraid that America will come together and end his ridiculous reign of stupid and evil.
Whereas we need some global warming.
Climate change doesn't pose a threat to the planet any more than 24-hour fitness worries about Trump hogging the machines. But climate change does pose a threat to us and to our children and generations to come. And the dangers can only be addressed by smart leaders with integrity, guts, and a clear vision of the future. So I guess we'll have to wait.
Goddamn right. Use my words against me and you'd be absolutely right.
That is crazy. They're eating the dog.
You're an idiot.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.